Welcome to the garden. It's the beginning of September and we're getting into that time of year when we have a very small window left for production and we want to maximize it all. So I'm going to quickly give you a tour of what's going on in the garden. We've been working on ripping out some of our finished crops and replanting. In the front of these beds here you can see that there's a lot of dirt showing, and right now we have a bed of peas that Leah has planted. We also have this bed here that is winter boar kale. The winter boar kale actually overwinters really well for us. So this is a crop that we quite often put a lot of in this time of year. We even have another bed of it over this way. We've started to replant our walking onion crops. We basically try to get as much as possible into the garden starting about a month ago, and anywhere that there's a spot that we don't have anything, we will put the seeds in so that they pop up really early in spring and we get a really good crop of the green onions. So you can kind of see them starting to come up here. These ones got planted about a month ago. So in about 2 weeks, they should be ready to harvest for us, but it's just constant for walking onions at this time of year. We just have a bucket, and anytime we get some space, we just throw some. The green beans, they're still being nice and productive. We're still picking off of these, not as often, not like every second day. At this point, we're into, like twice a week picking them, but they're still producing for us. They're still super fun to come and snack on. So we will probably keep them in the space for as long as possible. Our squashes have had a pretty bad year. They haven't really done much. They got some powdery mildew. Pretty much everyone in Kelowna that we've talked to is having issues with it. So I'm torn if I should take them out now and replace them with something that's going to do something, or if I should just see if I can still get a few of them. One thing we do leave in the garden for as long as we can is our tomato plants, which is what's kind of buried here. On the top level we have our radish seed pods, and they're going strong. I think we're probably going to still get another month out of them. So nothing's going to happen with this bed. Nothing's going to get touched here. Over on this side is where we used to have our onions, and they actually got ripped out and dried about, I don't know, 3 weeks ago now. Our leeks weren't quite big enough, but they are getting to the point now that they are looking good. So I think we could get them out. And we've even had a few start to go to seed. So it's definitely getting to that time. And I've also planted in some large radishes in here. This is what started to sprout up. So I'm really hoping that these can get to a pretty good size before our frost comes. One of the big plans for the greenhouse when we first built it was that this was going to be for winter production. So we're really excited to experiment with what that's going to mean, because just in what the greenhouse has done for us in the summer, we're amazed at how good this space has been. The plan is that tomatoes in this section will eventually get ripped out and then stay empty so that we have good access to the bigger beds on the side. We've started taking out the basil. We already have so much basil that the greenhouse has produced this year that we don't even need anymore. So we're taking out the plants and turning it into pesto, and then we're going to be planting in greens in here and letting the tomatoes still go for a little bit longer. And then on the other side, the peppers do still have the chance to grow more, but our priority here is to see what we can do for the greens. So we're gonna rip out the peppers, clean off the fruit, and just replant that space too. And that has to come up really soon here. That it has to happen the next couple days as well. But on that bed, we are gonna leave most of the eggplants along the back row because we can do the greens in the front and then still get the amazing eggplant harvest that we've been getting probably for another month. So I'm super excited about that. That's what we have going in the garden right now. This is my favorite time of year. There's just so much coming out of the garden. It's honestly hard to keep up with it all. And I'm really hoping that we've been on the ball enough to keep the production going with all the fall plantings that we have. So make sure to subscribe. We'll be doing more updates on what the garden keeps looking like into the fall, and check out some of our other videos.